Hi, YouTubers, friends, citizens. This is my first report on current events, editorial, opinion, whatever you want to call it. I am a useful idiot, and I want to talk about the Iowa caucus yesterday. The results are in now. Everybody's seen what we pretty much would expect. Mitt Romney is number one, corporate bankrolled, complete puppet waiting for his strings, business as usual candidate. Utterly harmless on the surface and completely malleable inside, which is what they like in presidents. And then you have Rick Santorum coming in second, which is probably the most perplexing thing about this, except for when you think about why that would be. A couple weeks ago, even last week, what was he at, 3-4%? He was a non-factor. He was a pimple on Rick Perry's ass. So now, here we have him surging, 21% of the vote, Rick Santorum. But when you think about realpolitik, it makes complete sense because you have Rick Santorum now in second place, Ron Paul now in third place. That was necessary because if they even let Ron Paul have a second place win, it still makes a statement. So now that they've relegated him to third place with this fake Rick Santorum surge, they've taken care of that. Overall, I would imagine that Ron Paul actually won the Iowa caucus, but we knew they were going to jockey and get Mitt Romney in there. He's their boy. He's the guy they want. Completely milquetoast, mainstream, status quo, corporate bootlicker. Policies won't change. He'll if he gets elected, he'll go straight into office, and you won't even notice the difference between Bush and Obama. So that's what's going on in Iowa. We knew it was going to happen. Can't be surprised. Very disappointing. I share the disappointment with everyone. Although, it's safe to say this isn't completely about Ron Paul. This is about our election system, which is completely co-opted and corrupted between Diebold voting machines, the Electoral College, manipulations and money requirements, districting, you name it. They don't miss a trick in basically corralling people into voting for just the corporate candidates they want to present us with. As Stalin pointed out, no matter who they vote for us. And that's the system that they've given us. And the Iowa caucus is just another example of that. Now, normally you might have some sort of controversy about the vote count, but since it's internal and it's not between the Democrats and the Republicans, and it's strictly the Republicans manipulating their own numbers, nobody's going to say anything about it. So it's a done deal. Pretty interesting situation when you have someone like Ron Paul rise up in the Republican Party, and they consider him an amusement until it gets serious, and now he's a real threat. And of course, they're going to pull out all the stops, which they have. They had to dig deep. They can't find anything on the guy, but they've got all the forces lined up against him. So, as we all knew, it was going to be this kind of battle because you have both the Democrats and the Republicans lined up against him. You have all the media machine, all the corporate interests, all the military-industrial complex interests, all the banking interests. They've all got a lot of stake from a Ron Paul presidency or even a nomination. So it's going to be a rough ride. So we're going to go into these next states, and we're going to see a repeat of what we've seen already. I had hoped to picture a snowball effect with Ron Paul picking up more voters as they're exposed to his message, but reality settles in, and I know that the odds are against him, not in the real world, but in our fantasy electoral world. So that's what's going on. So anyway, there's Iowa caucus. Didn't turn out quite the way we thought, but if we'd faced the facts, turned out exactly as we thought.